There was once a man who lived in a crowded city, filled with noise, endless conversations, and people constantly trying to prove themselves. Every night the streets were alive. Music echoed through apartment windows. Phones vibrated endlessly. Cafes overflowed with laughter and distraction. But every evening the man would quietly leave the crowd and walk alone beside a silent river outside the city. People began to notice. Some thought he was lonely. Others assumed he was arrogant. But the truth was something very different. He had simply discovered something most people never understand. Intelligent people do not avoid others because they hate people. They avoid noise because they value peace. And there is a difference. One evening, a young student approached the man near the river and asked, "Why do you always sit here alone? Don't you get lonely?" The man smiled gently. Then he picked up a small stone and dropped it into the water. As the ripples slowly expanded across the surface, he said, "When the water is disturbed, you cannot see clearly through it. But when it becomes still, everything becomes visible." The student remained silent. The man continued, "Most people spend their entire lives surrounded by noise. Noise from society, noise from opinions, noise from endless distractions. And after years of living this way, they forget how to hear their own thoughts." He looked toward the dark city lights in the distance. Solitude is not isolation. Solitude is clarity. The student listened carefully as the cold wind moved through the trees. Intelligent people often spend time alone because they understand something dangerous about the modern world. Not everything deserves their energy. The man explained how many people drain themselves trying to fit into conversations that mean nothing, relationships that feel empty, and social circles built entirely on appearances. He said, "The more deeply a person thinks, the more carefully they protect their peace." And perhaps that is why some of history's greatest thinkers preferred solitude. Not because they were broken, but because silence gave them something the world could not: understanding. The man then told the student a story from his younger years. "When I was your age, I feared being alone. I surrounded myself with people constantly. I believed attention meant connection. I believed noise meant happiness. But over time, I realized something painful. You can sit in a room full of people and still feel completely empty." The student lowered his eyes, because deep down he understood exactly what the man meant. The wise observer continued, "Loneliness does not come from being alone. It comes from being unseen." And many intelligent people begin to notice how rare genuine connection truly is. They stop chasing crowds. They stop forcing relationships. They stop explaining themselves to everyone. And slowly, they become more selective with their energy, their attention, and their time. Because time is life, and intelligent people understand the value of both. The man looked at the student one final time and said, "Most people are terrified of silence because silence reveals the truth. It reveals unresolved emotions, hidden insecurities, uncomfortable thoughts. But intelligent people learn to sit with silence instead of escaping from it. That is why solitude often becomes their greatest teacher. In silence, they understand themselves. In silence, they heal. In silence, they grow stronger. And eventually, they no longer need constant validation from the world. Because peace becomes more valuable than attention." The river moved quietly under the moonlight. The city still screamed in the distance. But for the first time, the student noticed how calm the night truly felt. And in that moment, he finally understood. Being alone is not the same as being lost. Sometimes intelligent people walk alone because they have stopped searching for themselves in noisy places. And perhaps the greatest form of wisdom is learning which voices deserve access to your mind. If this video spoke to you, subscribe to Silent Psychology for more stories about human behavior, emotional intelligence, and the hidden psychology of modern life. And remember, protect your peace carefully. Not everyone deserves your energy.